welcome back to another interview here on Toned In Entertainment. Today we are at Gangrel's Wrestling Asylum, and I'm joined by KiLynn King for part 2.
Part 2? It's been like, what, 2 years?
About a year and a half.
Okay, a year and a half. I'm bad with time.
That's okay. I actually looked it up today.
Oh, did you really?
So it was like October 2019.
All right.
Blueprint Wrestling.
You're on the job, man.
I'm on it.
You got all the details.
I have to. You know, I had to look back over our interview to make sure I wasn't going to ask you the same question.
Oh, that's an intelligent thing to do.
Yeah, because I don't want to ask you what your favorite guilty movie pleasure is, because I know it's The Mummy.
Good job.
There we go. There we go.
It still is. Mummy and The Mummy Returns. But not the third one.
But not the third one.
No, the third one's awful.
Okay, yeah, we'll skip the third one altogether. It's only Brendan Fraser.
See, Brendan Fraser's great. It's just, you know, when you got, what was her shoot name, her real name, the girl who played his wife?
Oh, I can't remember.
Well, when they got a different actress, it bummed me out. I couldn't do it, so.
Okay. Well, let's get on to some new stuff.
Okay.
A lot has changed since 2019.
Yeah.
Number one, the face paint.
Yes. I'm going for the more Viking warrior kind of thing. I've always kind of felt like I was like this internal warrior badass. Okay. And so I finally just decided to start showing it on my face as well. Be a real life Wonder Woman, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, which you are.
Thank you. Yeah. That was the goal since childhood. So I'm just trying to be Wonder Woman, Mom. Okay. Okay.
Come on, Mom. Just Wonder Woman. It's okay.
She wasn't a big fan of the wrestling when I got into it, but she's coming through to it now. So.
She has to, because you're wrestling on AEW pretty much on a weekly basis now.
Pretty much every week now. Yeah. For some reason they like me over there. So. No, it's been an incredible year. It's kind of insane how, like, when COVID first hit, like, all the bookings, all the stuff that I had worked for kind of slipped away, and then like it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. It just cleared the path for AEW to become possible, and now I've spent the last year growing with some of the most amazing minds in the wrestling business and getting to witness people and just let my brain expand and grow and become a more educated wrestler, and that's been like the biggest blessing in the whole world. So yeah, AEW has been amazing.
Now, I do want to ask you a question, because when COVID first hit, and you know, obviously we're friends on Facebook, I remember reading one of your posts and it kind of hit you pretty hard, because it felt like, I felt like almost like the whole world dropped out from you at that time.
Yeah, it was. And it's crazy to think about it now because so many much bigger things have happened. But like when I first started wrestling, like I was never really booked. I would just show up to shows, and then if I got lucky, they'd use me. And then I started to finally, like, people were seeing me enough, and so they're like, okay, let's rebook her, let's bring her back. And by the time we had gotten to that year of WrestleMania, like, people were finally reaching out to me and asking me to come to shows, and they were booking me against some pretty big names, and like that was the biggest, like, because if somebody books you against a big name, they know you can handle it. And so that was like the biggest, like, oh my gosh, people are starting to have faith in me and see my work and giving me bigger chances. And so when all of that happened, it was like the biggest gut punch. I just remember I was so depressed. I felt like all that hard work went to nothing. And then thankfully, one of my old trainers, Billy Gunn, hit me up, and it didn't go to nothing. I got to spend the last year, like I said, growing with AEW and wrestling some people I never thought I would get to wrestle. So that's been really, really cool.
Right. No, I've been to a couple AEW shows, and we got to see you wrestle Brandy Rhodes one time in a dark match. That
was such a good match. I miss her. I can't wait for her to be in the ring with her again. She's off having a baby right now, but I promise you, she's going to be back, and she's going to kick an ass like nobody's business. So I can already see it in her eyes when I walk past her. She's ready. She's like, get me back in that ring.
She has a lot of unfinished business to take care of.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Now, currently, as we're talking here in April 2021, right now you've kind of got like a little trio going on with Big Swole and Red Velvet.
So it's really cool how that happened. When I first met Velvet, we actually talked about this the other day. When I first met Velvet, there was some kind of connection between her and I. Like, we just knew that our paths were going to cross in a bigger way. We just didn't know how. So we always kept in contact, and then, like, obviously we both kind of started AEW at the same time, and like, we always joked about tagging together, but the opportunity never presented itself. And then one day we were asked, like, hey, we want you guys to tag together. And we're like, all right, cool. And then Swole got thrown, or I should say we got thrown in with Swole. And like, that was even cooler because, like, Velvet and Swole were both really good friends of mine before I even ever came to AEW. Like, I remember I would always run into Swole on indie shows. We were never booked against each other, but we would always be on the same shows, and I would just admire her so much and her passion and her hard work. And that girl hits hard. And I would admire her so much, and I would just think to myself how much I just want to keep working with these ladies. And now I get to be in the ring with them every week, not only working with them, but tagging with them and getting to, like, feed off of each other's energy. So it's really cool. It's very natural. It's very cool because like that friendship and that bond was already there before they even paired us together. So when we got that cue to go ahead, we're just like, this is right. Yeah. So it's been really, really cool.
Yeah, and I can attest to it because I've been backstage at like Super Nerd Street where I saw you and Big Swole back there together.
Yeah.
I've been at shows where I've seen you and Red Velvet together in the back. So it is a natural thing.
Those are my girls right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them so much.
Now, how much has your life changed in the past year with all these bookings on AEW Dark?
You wanna know what? I think the way it's changed is before I was just kind of like, I was kind of hoping to get booked. I was hoping to learn something new, but now it's like it's a constant cycle of learning and working. Like it actually feels like a full-time job now. Before it was kind of like I'd work my 5 to 9 and then hope that I have a good match and learn something from it. But now it's like every week we go in, we're working hard, we're grinding, and we're getting better together. And I think that's cool because like I was just talking to Cody Rhodes about this the other day, like because he had pointed out to me, he's like, you've been here for a while, and I was like, yeah, it'll be a year in May. And he's like, how do you feel? And I was like, honestly, it's been the biggest blessing working here because not only because of the exposure and the opportunities it's presented me, but the lessons that I've learned. I was like, I went back and watched my first match against Penelope Ford, and oh my gosh, my movement, my aggressiveness, like so many things have changed dramatically about my wrestling, and I never really noticed it before until he made that, like he talked to me about that, and I was like, yeah. So I'm just excited to see how it further grows because, you know, I like to call myself the king of wrestling. So if I'm going to call myself that, I need to be one of the best. So I'm excited to see if I get the opportunity to stay with AEW, how much further I'll grow and what opportunities I'll be able to do next.
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit, just in my honest opinion.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's when you find the thing that you truly love, there's no turning back, and like there's nothing that stops you from it. Like I pursued a lot of things when I was younger, and I was always passionate about them, but when it got hard, there was never that like, okay, now I have to put the work in and grind even more, even though it's hard. With wrestling, no matter how hard it gets, like I just want to keep going, even when my body's breaking down and my mental state is whacked out. Like I want to keep going, and that's the biggest thing for me because I've never had that in my life before. So having that now, like it just makes it. I'm never working. It's just I do what I love. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Can you take me back to that day that you got the notification that you were going to wrestle Penelope Ford on AEW Dark?
So the way it happened was after COVID hit, like I said, I was really bummed out. I ended up moving in with my boyfriend at the time, so I moved further away from Jacksonville, Florida. I moved all the way out here to South Florida, and then it was literally like the 3rd weekend to May, I think it was, and Billy Gunn just texted me and said, hey, how come you haven't reached out to me about coming to AEW? And in my head, I'm thinking like, you probably have so many people who bug you and ask you for favors. I didn't want to be one of those people. So I told him, I'm like, I didn't want to be one of those people. He's like, you're like family. Just tell me what you need. He's like, get your butt here. We're going to get you. So I came there with no expectations. I'm like, I'm just going to show up. They're going to see my face. And if they like it, then maybe I'll get an opportunity next time. And then as soon as I walked in the door, Dustin immediately knew who I was. He's like, yeah, we have a match for you. You're going to wrestle Penelope. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was so nervous because I had been training, but I hadn't had like a show in so long. So I'm like, oh my God, watch me crap the bed and all this stuff. I had no idea how it was going to turn out, but Penelope was awesome to work. And it was just, AEW is such a wonderful place, and they just want to make sure that all of us are doing well and succeeding and putting on the best product because we have the coolest wrestling fans. And that's when we just want to get back to them. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, speaking of AEW, now, you know, they market themselves as wins and losses mean something, okay? I kind of have a bone to pick with AEW because I believe that one of your losses is completely tainted when you wrestled Christy James. Not only did she roll you up and grab a handful of trunks, but I went back and rewatched that match, and your shoulders were off the ground as well.
Were they really?
Oh, yes.
Well, thankfully 2020 has passed, so that loss is no longer on my record.
Okay.
But I can understand that. Now that I know that, I'm a little hot about that too. But it's all good. Christy James is out there on the indies killing it. I'm still at AEW killing it. So, oh, by the way, I had a funny catchphrase in my head. Killing it, but spelled like my name.
Okay.
I kept saying that. It made me think of that. What do you think? You think that's a good idea?
Like, spell it out. How do you think?
Like she's killing it, but instead of spelling it K-I-L-L-I-N-G, I spell it like my name, K-I-L-Y-N-N.
Killing it.
Killing it.
I like it.
Yeah?
We got to get that on a t-shirt.
I was just about to say, new t-shirts coming soon.
Coming soon, and we need them here at the venue, like I've requested several times.
Yes, please. We gotta sell that merch.
We gotta sell that merch. Now you do have some merchandise available.
I do. I have some t-shirts here. I've got 2 different designs.
So you have them here today?
Yeah, I have I think I have one for you.
Yeah.
I have a limited selection left because I'm waiting for my next order to come in, but I do have some, and then I've been selling some stickers and some 8x10s too. Yeah, so if you're here at the show, come stop by my table. We'll get some pictures taken and get some 8x10s for you. Yeah.
Yes, finally the merch. My fiance and I have been waiting for that merch.
People have been wanting t-shirts for a while, but I was just so lazy about it, and then finally a buddy of mine, Zach Romero from Fully Gimmick, took me up. So I'm like, oh, thank you. He did all the work. I'm just selling them. But yeah, and he did such a great job too. He made my cartoon character look like such a badass.
Okay.
I was like, I'm really not that cool in real life.
Now, speaking of cartoon character, we're getting ready for the show here.
Yeah.
You know, I did see somebody did some fan art of you. Now, how cool is that when people do fan art of you?
I don't think fans understand how much that means to us. Like to go back to what I said earlier, like when I was a kid, I daydreamed about being like all those badass characters I watched, like Wonder Woman, Black Widow, like all the Final Fantasy characters I would play on the games, and like just like my favorite action movies and TV shows. Like there was a lot of strong women I always wanted to emulate, and a lot of them were in comic books. So when you get to the point where fans are drawing cartoon versions of you, you feel even more like that badass character. And so for me, that just hits such a soft spot in my heart. So please keep them coming, guys, because literally they make my whole day. They make my life. They're just so cool.
Yeah, the one I saw today was really cool.
It's
you posted
so
out.
good. Oh my gosh, it made me feel like the coolest person ever.
Now, KiLynn, when you're not wrestling, I mean, pretty much, and working out, what are some of the fun things you are doing in your free time?
Well, ever since COVID hit, I've been catching up on all the TV shows that I tell people I'm gonna watch and don't. But I hate to sound like so boring, but I just watch wrestling. I go to the gym quite a lot, especially since with AEW, I've been trying to get my physique and my fitness up to the next level. So I cook, train, and then I come here and I train some more, and then I do spend a lot of time with my dog. My dog, sorry Trevor, my dog is my best friend. He gives the best kisses, so I know that's a double whammy against Trevor. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Trevor. He's a great guy, though.
He's a great guy, but my dog is adorable. I can't.
I think Trevor is adorable too. If you're watching.
Yes. And I do like to go wine tasting sometimes.
Okay.
I'm a big wino. Yeah, I think because especially now that I'm coming up on my 30s, like I'm like my grandma. My grandma's a big wino. I think I got that from her. So like one of our favorite things when we go grocery shopping is to try and find a new wine and see, like, just keep a list of it and see what we like and what we don't like. I want to be one of those old ladies that has like a huge wine selection, and like people think I'm an alcoholic, but I'm not. Right. I just really like wine.
Is there a particular wine that you can suggest to your fans out there?
The brand Josh, I have been it's not an expensive brand either. It's actually relatively cheap. But Trevor's mom let us try some of hers, and I thought it was really good. So I've been getting like different selections from their brand. It's really good, and it's a good price. Okay. Yeah.
We like reasonably priced wine.
Me too.
Now, what's one of your favorite things to cook up in the kitchen since you mentioned cooking?
So when we prep, I have this mix that I like to make because I never get bored of it. It's kind of like a taco mix. So you just take lean ground turkey, you take black beans, brown rice, and then you mix in corn and green peas, and then you just spice it up however you want, and you mix it up. It's like the perfect combo of protein, carbs, and it keeps me full, and it's really easy to make. It's like super, super fast. So, and then, you know, if you want to make a variety of it, you can throw it in a burrito. I know Trevor's done a burrito with it sometimes, but it's easy, it's quick, and it tastes really good. Okay. So, yeah.
Cooking and drinking with KiLynn King here.
Yeah.
I like it.
I should start my own show.
Why not? Come on, let's get on it.
Or when Brandy does her show, I'll see if I can get on there with her.
Yeah,
we can cook something up together.
Brandy Rhodes, why hasn't KiLynn King been on the show to Brandy?
Show. We're friends. We like each other. Sure, I hit you once or twice when we were in the ring, but it was just good spirit, good fun, good sport. Yeah.
It is. Now, speaking of, you've got the new face paint. Your wardrobe has also taken a step up as well, I think.
Yes. So I recently just switched gear makers, and I loved my old gear, but there was just something missing from it. And I realized, like, I've always had like this weird balance of being like a tomboy, but also being a girly girl. So I think my old gear was more to the tomboy side, and I needed to find a balance. So if you notice, it's a similar design. I still have the halter and stuff like that, but I just needed to glam it up a little bit, and I feel like that adds to the warrior vibe a little bit more.
I think it does.
Yeah.
It definitely has more razzle dazzle.
Razzle dazzle. There we go. Yeah.
Now, KiLynn, I know you are the current GWA Women's Champion, and you do have a match here today, and the lights are out, so I think we should probably wrap this up because you do have to go and kick some butt out there.
Always.
So, KiLynn, where are people following you at?
Twitter and Instagram are the exact same. It's at KiLynn King. I try to make it as simple as possible for you guys. I do have a Facebook, but if you're a weirdo, don't add me, because I don't really get on Facebook very much. I have to remind myself to post on there. But Instagram and Twitter, I'm always on there, and I keep it updated almost daily. So if you want to know what I'm up to, just follow me on there, and I'll let you guys know.
There you go. Instagram, Twitter, no weirdos, and you're good to go.
And if you can't be here or at any of my recent shows coming up and you want a KiLynn King t-shirt, go to fullygimmick.com and then just type in my name. My t-shirt designs will pop up for you. And then you can order them in whatever size you need.
There you go. Support the cause out there.
Yes.
KiLynn, always a pleasure not only to see you, but to speak with you.
You too.
All the time.
It was great.
It was great, as always. So, guys, if you like interviews like this with KiLynn King, who's no longer the Queen of Crazy.
No longer the Queen of Crazy. I let my old ways go.
The old ways are gone. She's just KiLynn King kicking butt all over Florida and America.
Yeah. I've gotten a little out of Florida now.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
All over the place at your wrestling show. KiLynn King is kicking butt. So make sure you follow her and make sure you stay tuned in here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Hell yeah.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.